You're listening to America's Diesel Podcast. We're good.
Yep, I think I'm good.
I think you're making him nervous a little bit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sweating.
So many questions.
I mean, you're wearing a wool fucking sweater, bud.
Yeah.
You're probably the most comfortable out of all of us. Tyler's cold.
I am pretty. It is nice in here.
Is that like, did you knit that, or is that an
No,
heirloom?
We can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, good, because we just started the episodes. Let's talk about Dave's sweater.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Well, I'm a bit of a sweater collector. I don't know if you knew this, but my name's DirtHead Dave, Dave Chapelle. And I have a bit of a problem with sweaters and coffee mugs.
Gotcha.
Sweaters.
That's kind of a weird. Okay.
Is there an awkward third thing you get a problem with?
No, that's pretty much
Is
it.
it? Okay. Everything else totally normal.
I would slightly say you have a car problem.
I do have that.
I mean, how many are you up to now?
Right now?
Yeah.
I really don't have that many cars. I have 7 of my own. So, like, and you can't ever count your wife's car. And
No.
So, yeah, no, I'm at 7.
Well, the best part is you have 7, and the grand total of how much you bought them for is probably what, like $8,000.
That's a dig.
Well, aside from the truck, the new truck.
No, I typically try to find stuff that's like in the sub $2,000 mark per vehicle.
Yeah.
I feel it.
No, yeah, I do have a little bit of a car problem. I have a truck problem. I have an SUV problem. I collect sweaters, and I really like coffee mugs. So that's really. Those are my only problems. Do you have any more questions, Tyler? You got any more problems to bring up?
Tell me how you really feel.
I've got more questions, but they're not about. Well, they're about one of your problems.
All right.
This week's podcast episode is brought to you by Fuel Bomb Diesel Additive, an additive designed for diesel enthusiasts, made by diesel enthusiasts. Ben, take it away.
Hell yeah, dude. So this is our in-house Fuel Bomb fuel additive for your diesel truck. Our biggest thing here is making sure that you can pretty much always have diesel additive on you all the time. You've got a lot of other additives out on the market that they have, anti-gel in there all the time. They have cetane in there all the time. They end up being big and bulky bottles. Our standard everyday diesel fuel additive is 1 ounce per 32 gallons, and that's its main job is to make sure that your fuel system stays lubricated and prevents the formation of algae. And it should also help you in colder climates too.
Should definitely help you in colder climates. Along with cleaning your fuel system and maintaining it, it'll also help you bump that cetane number up for a more efficient burn of your diesel fuel. And if cetane is just what you're after, there's the Fuel Bomb Hellfire, which is our straight 8+ cetane enhancer.
Yeah, and you guys asked, and we brought them back. We did go away from the bottles that didn't have the measuring little parts in there. We brought them back for you, so now you can measure out your 1 ounce per 32 gallons for the F-Bomb or 4 ounces per 32 gallons for the Hellfire.
Both these additives are available on our website, dieselpowerproducts.com. Now let's get back to that episode.
Let's get this intro out of the way. Hey, everybody, this is Ben, Tyler, and DirtHead Dave.
Hello, all.
Coming at you from Spokane, Washington. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. This is America's Diesel Podcast. You can find us on all normal podcast avenues, including Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you find them by searching, or you can search America's Diesel Podcast and pull us up there. You can also find us on the Instagrams, Facebook. Apparently, we still have a TikTok account, but I'm pretty sure I deleted it from my phone. So it may be out there. It may be live still. For all I know, it could be viral, but I watched a Joe Rogan clip and I deleted it. So,
Didn't you get banned like immediately?
Oh, yeah.
With your first post?
My first post that actually got any traction immediately banned.
Perfect.
And it really pissed me off because there's like so much stuff on TikTok that and it's all because like I said that a truck fucked. I said, this truck fucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like banned.
Really?
Meanwhile, you scroll down, it's like nipples and butthole.
That's
but
why
I can't say this truck fucks.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay,
Anyways.
communist chat.
You should have said this non-conforming gender binary truck fucks. Then you would have been fine.
This truck fornicates.
Yeah.
Probably.
Anyways.
Yeah. Anyhow. Make sure and check us out there. Probably the best way to interact with anything we have to do with the podcast, except Tyler, because he doesn't have a Facebook, is our Facebook group page.
Got a book?
Yep. But someone made a book of the posts on Facebook and sent Tyler a book of the posts on Facebook.
So I'm kind of part of the group.
So he literally has a Facebook book. It's
you
bound.
might have the only one.
I know I have the only one.
Somebody else out there has a Facebook.
Book.
I still don't know who sent that.
It's not hardback.
It's not hardback though, and it doesn't have their own picture on it. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but make sure and check out the group. It's called America's Diesel Podcast - the group. There are 3 questions you must answer to get in the group. I monitor all of those. I am the only person that lets people in or out of the group. And yes, the questions are open-ended. There are many right answers and many wrong answers. Answer them to the best of your ability. If they're not right, but I think they might be right, I'll decline with information. I'll send you a message, but if they're way off, I'll just fucking decline the shit out of you. Looks like Dave's applying right now.
I'm looking it up. I literally work on the other side of this wall, and I didn't even know this room was in here. It's a pretty nice place you got here.
Oh, thanks, man. I didn't pay for it.
It used to be a closet.
Yeah, literally. There used to be tires stacked up to the ceiling with extra parts and engines.
I had to deal with those for a while. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can join the group here.
You can answer the questions.
Where are they at? Seriously, I'm very bad at this.
Yeah.
Well, while they're doing that, make sure you give us reviews. Send your 5-star review in on any of the platforms you listen to this podcast on. Screenshot that review and send it to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure you include a picture of your truck and an address so we can send you a decal.
You're logged in as you're a page right now, not a profile.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, let me switch. Sorry, learning Facebook over here. This is for people like us.
Yeah. Need to get a book.
You're not a Neanderthal like Tyler.
All right.
Yeah, so search it again. If you need diesel parts for your pickup, make sure and check out dieselpowerproducts.com. If you see that quick ship logo, it's guaranteed in stock, ready to rock. If you're talking to a sales technician, make sure and let them know you are a podcast listener, or if you're placing an order online in the shipping notes section, type podcast. Allows us to tally them up at the end of the month and make sure that the big guys upstairs know that we're helping people buy parts, because money makes the world go round and this shit ain't free. I actually just tallied up February's, because today, the day we're filming this, is actually March 1st. I can tell you guys got your tax returns.
Yeah.
You guys fucking showed up hard in February.
I heard the guys in shipping were like going crazy this week.
Yeah. Like I tallied up. I think we were at like 31 orders for about 26 grand, I think, or something like that. To give you guys,
thank you.
Yeah. Seriously, thank you. To give you guys some perspective, like I think it took us, once we started keeping track of stuff, it probably took us like, I don't know, 8 months when we first started to get to 26 grand. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we clear that in a month right now is pretty badass. And again, I really do appreciate you guys doing that. It means a lot, because as you all know, if you've heard the intro before, when we do allocate those orders, you receive absolutely fucking nothing monetarily or anything, really. All you get is special attention from me or Tyler or Corey should an issue come up with your order. And for those of you that had that happen, you know that that is invaluable, because we get shit done. Yeah, 32 orders, $26,160. Badass. Let's get this episode started. Dave friggin' Chapelle.
Yeah. What are we doing here? I joined. Have you checked my...
Did you put answers in?
Yeah, I've got answers in there. I am now part of the America's Diesel Podcast.
Hey, whoa. No. You have not been accepted, sir.
You're pending. You're a pending person right now.
I might decline you just for funsies.
So Dave, I think the first time I saw you, and I don't know if this is the first time you're on Dirt Every Day, but was it the Volkswagen Bug episode? Was that
yeah, that was my first Dirt Every Day. That was a pretty good one. That was like 100 years ago.
Yeah,
it was a really good time.
You guys had the vests?
Yeah,
yeah.
I still, it's like a swap meet Letterman jacket. I still have mine. Gotcha. It's in the closet.
So at that point, did you know, like, was there already plans for you to be on Dirt Every Day, or was it?
No, there wasn't really. That was kind of like, I was just friends with, what's up?
If I didn't know who you were, I would decline you.
Really?
100%.
Dockers?
Yeah. I didn't know you went to Grossmont and Cuyamaca.
Yeah, Cuyamaca.
Yeah. I never went to Cuyamaca. I went to Grossmont, play baseball there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Harvard on the hill.
Yep. It's a super nice campus.
It is.
Yeah,
I went to that junior college for 4 years.
Yeah, I was there for about 2. Yeah. But yeah, no, it really is. That was like one of the coolest campuses I ever went to. Mm-hmm. I went to a lot of different junior colleges.
Wow, I'd never say a campus is cool.
It's beautiful. As far as like San Diego goes, campuses are one of two ways. Either it's a concrete jungle, like there's just literally stairs and concrete everywhere and it goes straight up, or places like Grossmont where I couldn't see. I don't think there was one 2-story building on the entire campus.
No.
And it's all spread out with grass and courtyards in between everything and nice walking paths and stuff. Parking lot's a different story, but the campus itself is nice.
Parking's terrible.
Yeah. Good thing I had a Ford Ranger. I'm declining you, by the way. You're going to do better than that.
That's fine. I'll try again.
Will you please try again, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put way more effort into this next one.
Decline with feedback. Let's see here. Issues with questions, feedback. Please try harder with your answers.
Apparently.
Make it count, my guy. Signed, Ben.
This isn't the first time I've been declined. Shot down, stood up. It's been going on my whole adult life and some of my adolescence.
If it makes you feel better, they made Cooper answer the questions.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did he get declined as well, or is he?
No, his were good, but Ryan, one of our other marketing guys,
Yeah.
the other ginger with no soul, he applied, and his answers were like definitely not good enough, and I declined the living shit out of him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you declined many people, not
I did.
just me and Ryan.
I think I'm still at about
You have 433 members.
yeah. I'm on a pretty much 1 out of every 3 gets declined right now.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it tight, dude.
Yeah.
Like the only people I want in there are I don't want no freaking bots. Okay, no bots, because they're all over the place on Facebook. Like I've routinely see groups that I've been part of where it's like it's a good group and it used to be a really good group, and all of a sudden things just go downhill real fast.
Yeah.
Dang bots. And 2, I don't want anybody in there that comes across the group somehow and thinks like, oh, that'd be a fun group to join, but don't actually listen to the podcast for 2 reasons. 1, I don't want them in there if they don't listen to the podcast, period. Like we're all friends. I'm trying to cultivate a cult. I'm making a cult, guys. That's what I'm doing. 2, if they don't know what they're getting into, because I will tell you guys right now, this group is spicy. Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Hot sauce. Ghost pepper spicy. I don't want no randoms coming in there. I mean,
Let
like,
me see
oh
the
my
buck. I
God.
want to see how spicy it is.
Well, there's nothing spicy. It's redacted.
Yeah.
It's blacked out. They wouldn't print it.
Ma Cummins. That
He's looking
looks
at Tyler's
like- yeah,
picture. So,
I
well,
am.
they made him a group called, we wanted to tag Tyler, but he's a gizzy guzzler. That there. So
Yeah.
that's actually a page on Facebook you can like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll probably join that one. I'll
Yeah.
probably get accepted.
I'll get you a copy
Yeah.
of the hardback.
All right. Thanks.
I know the guy. Actually, I don't know the guy. Whoever made this, again, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into the real deal here,
I was already
Dave.
trying. I was already asking
He
questions.
was
and you're just
all
like,
in.
Facebook.
I'm finding out the dynamics of this podcast here.
Damn.
God.
That was a good Alex Jones. Right there, you just did.
Listen, Ben, you're kind of retarded.
Yes. Okay. Continue with Dave.
I forgot. All right.
Fine.
He was talking about
Okay.
sweaters and
You just start it. You just go.
yeah, let's
You
go,
just
Ben.
go.
Come on, Ben, bring it.
All right, Dave, what's your favorite color?
What's my favorite car?
Color.
My favorite color? I think my favorit color is green.
That's a good one. You got what are those almost green eyes.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much almost.
I'd say so. Green's a good color. What is your favorite shape?
What are you asking
What
right
the
now?
heck is going on in here?
Hey, you're on
first
our
grade level-
podcast.
All right.
All right.
I was asking a hard pressing questions. All right.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
All right.
You got to butter them up before you
Yeah.
slam dunk
With
'em.
colors and shapes.
Hey, everybody learns colors and shapes, man.
I don't have a favorite shape that I know of, but I'll start looking into it, and I'll probably use one of those as my answer on my podcast Facebook page questionnaire answer.
Excellent. Fantastic. Mine's a rectangular prism.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
think
mine.
that exists, but good work.
Rectangular prism? It exists. I promise. Okay.
Corey's looking it up. He's on the internet.
Next. Okay. So, Dave, how many sweaters do you have?
How many sweaters?
Yeah.
This is actually the first in my collection.
Damn it, Dave. Sandbagged us from the start. He's not actually a sweater collector. It's just
This is the start of
The start of his collection.
my collection. You guys
Okay.
are in on the ground floor right now.
excellent. So, Corey on the screen, we can see a screen. You guys can't. That's a rectangular prism.
That's a box.
That's a rectangle, man.
It's a rectangular prism.
What's the difference between a rectangular prism and a cube?
Cube is 3D.
All
Well,
right.
a rectangular prism could also, I believe, technically be a cube. However, rectangles typically have two sides that are, two sides that are equal and two sides that are equal, but one side, two of the parallels are longer to make a rectangle. It's not a square. It's not like a circle that has no end. Like a triangle has corners. Circle has no end. No beginning or end.
So, Dave.
How are you doing over there, Tyler?
Go ahead, guys.
No, okay.
Dave.
Yes, sir.
You threw me all off. The question that I was asking him is, I don't know if you saw the first episode with Dave on Dirt Every Day. He was on a Volkswagen Bug episode.
Yep.
Okay. And then I asked him at that point, did he know he was going to be part of the show, or was he just showing up to just be involved with it? Or at that point, was that something that you kind of knew you were going to get into?
No, that was legit. Like Fred and I were like good buddies, and I was like, we should get bugs and start a bug club. And he was like, we should film this for Dirt Every Day, because he was like 35 episodes in, and it was still like in its infancy there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was legit. Like, I bought a Baja Bug, and then I was like, you need one of these too, and we should start a club and get jackets made, stuff like that. So we did that, and we filmed it. It was cameraman Corey. It was just a one-man crew back then. It was Fred and cameraman Corey, and came down to my shop in El Cajon, and we built my bug, and we built his bug, and we did all this work, and ran down to the ghetto indoor swap meet and got our jackets made, a little airbrushing on them. If you're from Southern California, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So yeah, no, that was a legit deal, and it wasn't till the Mad Maxis off-road runner that I kind of like got a real job working there.
Gotcha. What were you doing at that time when, as far as for work?
For work, I had a shop in El Cajon called Chapelle's Exhaust and Custom, and I was doing exhaust work and lowriders and mini trucks and rock crawlers and building roll cages and all that. I was doing a bunch of custom fabrication work, but I was calling it a muffler shop so that I could keep my insurance.
Oh, gotcha.
Because at the time, like, the insurance companies were hitting pretty hard. If you were like cutting frames and doing sketchy stuff, they would drop you like yesterday's news. And so I called it a muffler shop so that I could like have a torch and plasma cutter and welder and be chopping stuff up all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So yeah, no, that's kind of how it started. Like, I was doing my shop for years, and I was always friends with guys that were like working for the magazines and doing tech installs and like tech articles and stuff like that. So that was kind of how I got to know Fred, was through that scene.
Gotcha. All right. Ben, what are you're looking at me like you're going to say something.
What's your favorite muffler?
Hard-hitting question. I bet you thought Ben had the hard-hitting questions, and I was going to ask what your favorite shape and color was.
Yeah, I guess favorite. I don't really know that I have a favorite muffler. Well, you know what? I do.
See?
I do have a favorite muffler. This is my go-to, and I don't remember the part number. I think it's 22022. It's a Thrush turbo muffler, and it's like a 19. Check that. He's checking it out. It's a Thrush 22022. It's just like the $19. It's like a $19 like cheap turbo muffler that's it. The 22020, the one. Nope, that's not it. Anyways, it's just a cheapy muffler that you used to get at the auto parts stores.
Kind of thing.
It's got 3 chambers.
Gotcha.
There's no packing in it though, so it's kind of loud. They were cheap. I used to be like, anytime I got a new vehicle, first thing I'd do is cut the exhaust off, put one of those cheapy mufflers on it, lower it, and drive it. So, and that one is a 13-inch case, 11-inch wide, 2-inch inlet, 2-inch outlet, and they would fit like under the back of a Daihatsu Charade, no problem.
Gotcha. So with you doing I know probably a lot of I know some of our listeners were fans of Dirt Every Day, and we were all upset when that decided to stop.
Yeah, yep.
Like, it was honestly, as far as a fun, fabricating kind of goofy, playing around kind of show. Like, it was like that. That was it.
It was a pretty good time.
I mean, I watched so many episodes. To the what is it? The Swiss Armada.
Oh god, you guys was good.
to the Rock Bouncer. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys got to do some really cool shit at some cool places.
Yeah, no, the like, not only were we like getting to build cool stuff, like we always made sure that it was a cool like payoff. A lot of these like TV shows and like YouTube shows, they'll like drag out a build and drag it out and drag it out. And we were always like, build something crazy, take it somewhere fun. And like, it was hard because it was like we were doing this massive amount of work and we only got a 22-minute time slot. So it was like we're doing, months worth of work and it gets this tiny little amount of airplay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, so in your words,
what happened?
What the fuck happened? Because I mean, I think we're all a little pissed off and that MotorTrend did this. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still feeling like it was like some knee-jerk reaction from middle management where it was like, this is our budget and this is what's costing a lot. No, I don't like Jeeps. Let's get rid of that show. That's kind of like, to me, it really felt like it was some knee-jerk reaction from middle management. Like, how'd it really go down for me and Fred? We were getting ready to go into a meeting for our 13th season or whatever. We were like waiting for our green light for the season. We were scheduled for the Zoom call and we went into the Zoom call and Fred and I had our list of 20 episodes we wanted to do, ready to knock that down to 12. We were like, we had parts on order. We had a location for our first episode already locked down. We had like a car already ready to go.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, hey guys, just want to say thanks. That was a pretty good run. And we're just not going to do Dirt Every Day anymore. And Fred and I were like, what happened? So that was
like, do I get a rebuttal?
Yeah. Like it wasn't even like we like sat there dumbfounded for a while and eventually we got kind of upset and wanted answers, but it was like the answers were not really, there was not that much there. They were the guys that we were talking to. I don't think they had any real choice in the matter. I kind of feel like it was just something from higher up that was like, I don't know what the deal was, but either the numbers were down or the somebody higher up didn't want the off-road show anymore. I don't know. The one thing I did get was that it was a 22-minute episode and they wanted to put the stuff on TV, and to get like the right advertising dollars, they need an hour time slot. So they were like, well, these guys have a half-hour show. Like, let's just ditch them and put more hour-long shows. And we were like, we would love an hour-long show.
Well, yeah, you can show a lot more of the fabrication.
Yeah, we were building like cool stuff and going to cool places, and like most of what we did got like dropped on the cutting room floor. Like every video we ever made could have been made into an hour-long episode and still been good, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm sure just about every person that's ever left a comment on any of those episodes is probably like, dude, I want to see more.
Oh, yeah.
And that question, like, what did you do for this? How did that happen? What went there? It's like, we could have explained all of that if we had an hour.
Yeah. No, it and in my opinion, it could have been really good at an hour long.
Yeah.
But we got axed before we got a chance to do that. But whatever, onward and upward.
Yeah. Well, you've got your own YouTube show you're doing, which honestly I thoroughly enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
You honestly make fabrication look like someone who's never touched a welder could do it. And I don't know if you would try to do it that way.
That was a dig, man.
No, it didn't mean to be a dig.
Dude, you're so good. You look like a beginner still.
No. The way he explained, the way he explains
disagree with you.
No, the way that he explains things and like shows you how to do things, he makes those kind of things where a guy would be like, "Wow, I can't freaking body drop a bed of my truck, or I can't build a freaking triangle." 4-link on this.
It's a rectangular prism.
Rectangular prism link. But no, just the way that you explain things, you make it seem easier than it actually is, and I think that's what is maybe that's why I like it, because I'm an idiot and I don't know if I could do that stuff, but you sure could do it. You sure make it look like I could.
Yeah. No, yeah, I have. I did get a chance to start my YouTube. It's called the DirtHead Shed, and it's like such a wild learning curve for me. This was a pretty good one. When I was working for MotorTrend, I had a clause in my contract where I couldn't do YouTube.
Yeah.
So we got notice that we were getting canned, and I was like, I need something to fall back on. So I wanted to make sure that I had a YouTube like in place before they like told the public that the show wasn't coming back. So I like message back and forth, and I ended up getting that clause taken out of my contract so that I could do YouTube like 1 week before the actual like release of the show not coming back. So I had like 1 week to figure out YouTube.
Yeah.
And if you watch my first episodes, you'll notice that I have no clue what I'm doing on YouTube. Ben's burping. It's the champagne of beers, man.
It's the bubbles.
So yeah, I kind of got thrown to the wolves, like had to sink or swim on YouTube, and it's really cool. I appreciate everybody like bearing with my learning curve, because I am not a tech savvy dude whatsoever, and I'm like learning how to hold a camera, edit films, play with computers, like figure out how to talk in front of camera while I'm also holding the camera and welding at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a whole different ball game, but it's fun. I'm super stoked that I get to like stay in the off-road world, stay in the fab world, and like show off more of what I really got going on, just not just what we were doing on Dirt Every Day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely enjoy it. It's a cool channel. And if you guys definitely check it out, DirtHead Shed. What do you put a video about it every week?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm not going more than like 7 days without a video. So
yeah.
I don't have like a set date. Like I'm not dropping videos on Fridays. I'm just kind of like hoping to get a video out every 6 to 7 days. And it's a hustle, man. Like
Yeah.
I think this one video a week is one of the hardest jobs I've ever had, but it's cool, and it's like all mine.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily just because of money or anything, but like I get to answer the questions that people have and interact with everybody. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Click on his ads too.
Oh yeah. I told Tyler that. I was like, you better be clicking on the ads. That's the only way I'm getting paid.
Yeah. Let them play through. Click on the ads. Hit subscribe. Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Like it.
Help him out.
It is true. Like it
All of
truly
that.
does. All of that helps. All of it adds up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that goes for you guys watching the podcast too. I know no one watches the podcast.
Yeah, click on
YouTube.
our ads too, will you?
I don't. We don't have ads on ours. I truly do not care if you guys
Yeah, we do.
actually.
From Waypoint.
Oh, from Waypoint. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. I thought you meant like the
Well, you can
YouTube
click on
ads.
those too. We get paid.
Yeah. Click everything.
I know that most people don't actually watch the podcast, but on that note, like liking and sharing,
It's crazy.
yeah, it honestly helps out so much.
Yeah.
And we don't really ask for that a whole lot, because at the end of the day, where we succeed is like sales
Yeah.
from parts, but the bigger the podcast gets, the more we can possibly sell stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, my goal is to have a helicopter, so we got to work on that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying. That's all I know I made. I got a helicopter.
Dang. I
won't go for a ride in it.
was hoping for an
Yeah.
eighth car.
So I got like $12.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get one.
So on the DirtHead Shed,
Yeah. Yeah.
you've got kind of a array of builds.
Oh yeah.
And I have to ask you, because I know you were originally kind of a lowrider guy, and then you went and got into the off-road world.
Yeah.
If you could pick one, what would you stick? Would you stick with lowriders, or would you go off-road?
It's hard because it's like cyclical. You like
Yeah.
you go all in on something and you get bored with it and it burns out.
Yeah.
So right now, I want to get back into like lead sleds and like 50s cars
Yeah.
and chop tops and all that, because that was like a period in my life that I haven't revisited in a long time.
Yeah.
So like, oh, that sounds so good.
Champagne, sirs.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I just filled mine. Thank you.
Look at this distinguished gentleman.
I normally don't drink out of aluminum cups, but today I will.
Yeah.
It's usually a crystal goblet.
You don't have a special coffee mug?
That was another thing. I started collecting coffee mugs and,
Yesterday?
No, my buddy Mark, who worked for Fox, he went to Zion or something, and I was like, Mark, can you grab me a mug? I'm like a big coffee mug collector. And he was like, yeah, no worries. And he like got me a coffee cup and he brought it to my shop and he was like, here you go. It's like, how many are in your collection? I was like, oh, this is it.
Just started.
You should make a rule that's like it's only free mugs.
Yeah.
Like it's only like, hey man, get me a mug. I collect them. I've never
Yeah.
been there. And all of a sudden you end up with this like 1,000 cup collection. Like I haven't paid for a single one.
Yeah. No, that's where it's at now. I've got one that's that my buddy Timmy gave me that says I messed with Texas. He brought me that from Texas. So it's starting to work. Like the whole thing is working. Like whenever I had I
Dave's
worked
retirement plan.
I worked for the fire department for a while in San Diego, and the chief went down to Mexico, and I was like, I'm kind of a big coffee mug collector. And
It's the best racket.
he came back from Puerto Vallarta with like this handmade, like, it's awesome. It's one of my favorites. So
We're gonna see Dave in 20 years on Antiques Roadshow with like some mug that's just worth like, Dave, you got yourself a little gem here.
Yeah.
This is worth $500,000.
Yeah.
Dave's like, I know.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping this goes somewhere, because I did actually buck up, and I've got a PO box now. So like on my YouTube channel, I'm hoping that people can catch on and send me things.
Well, you can put your PO box here. You might get a book. You might get a dildo.
Yeah.
You might get a mug.
You never know.
Our listeners are some sick puppies.
Yeah,
I love every single
some
one of you
sick
guys.
puppies.
Yeah. See, it says FBI, except it says female body inspector.
Yeah.
Get it? Get it? Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a real sick sense of humor. Best
that
movie
movie.
ever. Yeah.
Name that movie.
Yeah, so I was up grabbing more champagne, but the cyclical car, like whatever you want to do,
yeah.
I feel that a lot. Like
You gotta keep it moving, man. Keep it fresh.
I still think your comment was like the coolest.
Oh yeah.
That just
Yeah,
it was so good.
It was good. And so if anybody follows along, I moved up to Spokane like 5 years ago, and I kind of got like right back into the car scene. Like San Diego, the car scene was like huge. And that was where I was I was there for the 27 years before I moved up here. So I got up to Spokane, and I was like, gosh, the car scene's good here. It's like going back in time like 20 years. Guys are driving their stuff. Like people are driving stuff. They're not trailering it. Like it's fine to like drive it around if there's still junk on the roads. Like I was like, this is good. People are enjoying it. And it seems like with bad winters, people build cool stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I got up here and I was like, man, I actually moved up here and I had a 50 Plymouth that I brought with me from California, and I couldn't get stoked on it. It was like the ugliest car ever. And I tried changing everything about it in order to make it cool, and it was still not cool. So I was like, all right, that thing's out of here. I sold it for like $600. I had thousands invested in it and million man hours. And I just was like, this is the ugliest car ever. I don't want it. So I went out and I bought this 64 Mercury Comet for $2,200. My wife and kids like went with me and dropped me off, and I like drove it home, like $2,200 car. And I drove it 45 miles home or whatever. And it was like, this is a good car. This thing runs and drives. It pulls a little bit when you step on the brakes. Like it was a good start. So the only downside was it was a 4-door. And I've always said like any Mercury Comet, like Dodge Dart, Plymouth Valiant, like any of those like unibody 60s cars, they were punk rock girl cars. Like when I was going to the bars when I was in my 20s, like every punk rock girl, rockabilly girl, they always wanted Dodge Dart or whatever. So like that's how I named that car the punk rock girl car, because I was like 20 years ago I would have never drove this car, but right now I absolutely love it.
It was a good looking car.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that it was 4-door.
Yeah.
Like it just, I don't know. I liked it. And I remember when I was out there, when you brought it in, I think one of the first or second times, and you're like, dude, open the door and close it.
It's amazing.
And it was like, and like, it didn't even,
no.
And you just swing it, it's like, clunk. I was like, this thing is perfect.
That's why I bought it. I was like, I went right to the back door and I opened it and closed it and rolled the window up and down. And I was like, this car is perfect. Like the hinges they weren't worn out yet. The latches were good. Like the windows rolled up and down, and it was great. And then, so I airbagged and 4-linked and like drove it and had fun with it for like 2.5 years. And then I was to the point where it was like, it needed an engine. It had a 3-speed, 3 on the tree, had like a really crappy rear axle. So I was like, I wanted to go to the next step. And I was like, I'm not going to do it to this car. So
Yeah.
I sold it and I bought what I have now is a 56 Mercury, and it's like torn apart. It's going to be awesome, but it's not a driver yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the Merc back on the road. It's like such a cool old car. And it's hard to tell like the younger generation. I feel like once I get it on the road and drive it and show it off, the younger generation will see how cool it is.
Yeah.
But I feel like right now, like there's no 20-something kids that seem to want to get into that scene yet.
Yeah.
But it's like time to bring it back and show people what's cool or what we think is cool, and see if anybody see if it sticks, you know?
Yeah. And then you got your hard body.
Oh yeah. Yep. I'm also reliving my teenage years, and I'm building a mini truck again.
I love how they call it the hard body.
Oh yeah.
I remember that there's a episode of is it Top Gear or is it Grand Tour? I think it's Grand Tour but he's like, they go to Botswana and they're gonna feed the inner tribes with fish.
Yes.
He's like, and of course I've got this truck named after me, Hard Body. As Clarkson says, it's like the hard body. I dig it.
I think it was only called that like in North America, in the States. Like I think anywhere else
It's like a B200 or something.
Yeah, it was a D21 everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
We just had to make it sound more American.
Got my hard body.
Yeah.
No, that thing's pretty cool. You did a body drop on it. You're doing some cool rear suspension.
Yeah.
All airbags.
The story of getting that truck is better than the story of the truck.
Yeah, because you had to go a ways to get that. Didn't
Yeah.
You?
So we were doing a dirt every day down in Florence, Oregon at my buddy's wrecking yard. And we went down there and we took the Ranchota, which was this Toyota pickup with a Ranchero body on 58s, like typical build, you know?
Which actually looked like legit.
It was amazing.
It actually looked good.
So we were down there and filming the Ranchota build, and I was like walking the junkyard, and there was this white Nissan hardbody D21. This little Nissan truck was sitting in the back row, and I was like, that truck's way too clean to be in this wrecking yard.
Yeah.
So I talked to Scott, the guy who owns the place. I was like, what's the deal with that? And he's like, oh, dude, like that truck's been around Florence for years. The jewelry store owner had it forever, and he passed away. It's been parked on the street.
Someone that had enough money to own a jewelry store had a hard body.
Oh, yeah.
He knew what's up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Got hard diamonds, hard body.
I should call that thing Diamond Cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he bought the thing. Scott bought this thing from a estate sale, and then like had it parked out there, and I was like, dude, I need that. And I came back like 6 months later. I had a little Jeep Cherokee that I absolutely hated. It was like this. It was nasty. It was this Jeep Cherokee I got for $1,000, and it was packed full of rat poop and like nastiness. And I like did my best to clean the thing out. I built a roll cage in it, and I was like, I absolutely hate this thing. So I called Scott, and I'm like, you want to trade my Cherokee for that hard body? And
Hard body.
And he was like, yeah, dude, bring it down. So I drove the Jeep like whatever 600 miles down to Scott's place. I brought a set of wheels and tires with me because that thing was all flat and nasty. So I like swapped wheels and tires on it, and then I continued on my way down to Fred's house. So like my test drive was like getting it in a junkyard, putting wheels and tires on it, throwing my mountain bike and all my other gear in the bed of it, and then driving down to Fred's house, which is like another 1,000 miles.
Jesus.
And yeah, I got to Fred's house, and I ended up lowering it at his house like before we started the next build. So yeah, it was Brad. I like drove it down there, lowered it at his house, like cruised it around town, and then we actually filmed that episode. We were going mountain biking in San Diego, and we were building this like shuttle bus van thing. So yeah, I continued down, drove down to San Diego, like got to my parents' house and changed the oil in it. Went over to my buddy Mark's house and put a stereo and new speakers in it, and then looped back around, came all the way back up to Spokane in it. I actually drove through the Redwood Forest and over the Golden Gate Bridge. Like it was
In the hard body.
Yeah.
Hard body.
I was totally bumping NWA driving across the Golden Gate Bridge. Like it was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one. So, and now I have it still. I got it home and I drove it like as a normal lowered truck for a minute, and then I was like, all right, I got to get crazy on it. So now it's like airbagged and four linked and like body dropped, which means the whole floor is cut out and the body hits the ground now. It's a huge project and I'm probably a month away from driving it. So pretty stoked. Like it's coming together. I'm trying to build it like I would have built it when I was a kid, but I haven't ever graduated from that. Like I've never built anything that's really nice. I continue to build the same thing over and over again. So I'm building it the way I know how, which is like half-assed and good enough.
I don't know if I call it half-assed though. I mean, the bed work you did, that's pretty damn cool.
It's legit. It's just never going to be a show truck. Like I'm not trying to build a show truck. I want to build a driver.
Yeah.
So it's getting there. I'm like turning the corner and ready to like put this thing together and drive it. So I don't know. Maybe next time we'll get the Nissan in here in the podcast room.
Yeah, bring in the hard body.
Hard body.
We'll just pull it and we'll move this table out of the way and we'll hang out in the bed.
Yeah, do the podcast there.
We'll hard park it.
Yeah.
So, Dave, you're probably the only person I know that bought a new F-350.
Oh, we're getting to the hard-hitting questions
Hard hitting
right now.
questions. Yeah, I mean, this is a diesel podcast.
God, I always forget.
So, yeah, me too. So, Dave needed a truck that was. You needed a heavy-duty truck. You needed a dually.
Yeah.
You needed a big truck.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave did what pretty much any normal person would do, and you probably assessed like, well, if I bought an older one, it's going to cost me this. I can get this engine, do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do I want to work on it all the time? I should probably buy a new one. I don't know. And
Back it up a minute and tell everybody what I traded in on my new truck.
Oh, it's coming.
that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That you just put a brand new bumper on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some freaking mud peelers.
Because you hit a deer, didn't you hit it? Or an elk
moose.
or moose.
Yeah, smashed a moose.
That's right. I totally forgot about that truck.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
rad
cleanest.
third gen.
I had the cleanest 05 Dodge known to man. Yeah.
Okay, so then now, why? Now I'm really perplexed.
Yeah.
What happened?
I didn't like my Dodge. I didn't like.
With the best diesel engine known to man ever put in a pickup truck, the 5.9 Common Rail.
Yeah, I didn't really like it that much.
And that's the end of this episode. Me and Dave are going to olive oil up and fight.
No, man, I've had a handful of diesel trucks, and you want to know what my first one was?
Yeah, run us through, dude.
I had a 91 Dodge extra cab. Intercooled, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Had that Cummins engine in it. That thing tried to kill me. So I had a camper shell on that truck. Let's go back even farther. I had the world's largest camper shell. I had a Squire, like 1113. I don't know. It was the biggest camper shell ever made. Mm-hmm. Camper, whatever. Anyways, I had that thing on my Dodge, my diesel dually 2-wheel drive guy, and I almost killed myself going to the Tierra del Sol desert safari run in like 2007, maybe. Mm-hmm. Boiled the brakes over going down Montezuma Grade into Borrego Springs. About went barreling off the edge into the canyon below. Mm-hmm. And it was an automatic, so I couldn't even like downshift. I was like grinding that sumbitch into first gear, and it wasn't very fun. So yeah, I got rid of the Dodge. Oh, another time I was rolling up to camp at Superstition, and we had an underdash fire because the electrical is so good in those old Dodges. So
Pristine.
had an underdash fire. I pulled into camp. And my wife and my 2 daughters like get out screaming and running. As I'm like getting out of the truck while it's still rolling to run to the back into the camper to get my fire extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. I really like Dodges.
It sounds like you got a problem with standard Dodge shit.
Yeah,
You got a problem with everything but the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and who? I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue Cummins with you, but the Dodge truck was garbage.
You're not.
Hey, us Dodge guys are like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we know.
So I killed that truck with the camper, and then I sold all of that stuff, and I bought another motorhome because I was like, you know what, like a crappy old motorhome, like we'll have less problems than the greatest Dodge of all time will have at the time. And then I moved up here, and I needed a 4-wheel drive truck in a hurry because I had my wife was driving. It was a 2012 Hemi Ram, and that was a great truck, half ton. And I was like, oh, I'm going to Spokane. I have to have 4-wheel drive because it's mandatory because there's like snow on the road.
It's true.
Yeah.
I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Yeah. So I like sold the really nice 2012 Ram, and I bought like a really clean 05 Cummins 4-wheel drive, short door, short bed, like really
Wait,
cool
which one
truck.
was the 2012? The 1500?
Yeah.
Okay, the 1500 was the 12. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sold the 2-wheel drive 1500 2012 truck, and I bought this 05 Cummins truck. And it was all right. I got it, and I drove it all the way up here, and it was like my daily driver. It didn't tow as well as I expected. Like, I've been towing with motorhomes, like a 460 Ford motorhome. Like, my last one was a 91 Class C 460 Ford 26-footer, like the best motorhome ever made. It was great. The thing ripped.
They're still on the road today.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
They've
is.
made millions of them.
I sold it to my neighbor. It's right around the corner. Anyways, I bought this Cummins truck, and I moved up here, and I was like, this thing's great. And then I drove it for a couple of years. It didn't tow as well as I expected it. It definitely didn't stop very good. The engine was fine, but it wasn't like boiling the tires off or nothing. Everybody around here was like, get a Smarty on it, do this, do that. And I was like, the transmission's slipping. I don't want to put crap in the engine.
Yeah.
So,
true.
yeah. So I bought.
I think I even had that conversation with you.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, just put a basic like 30 horsepower tune and wake it up. And
No.
you're like, the transmission's already on its way. I was like, don't put that 30 horsepower
Yeah.
tune in there.
No. No, the final straw was we were doing a Dirt Everyday episode, and we were towing. I had my Iron Pig FJ55 Land Cruiser, and Fred had his like Willie's station wagon. We were towing out to Salmon, Idaho, and I like warped the rotors. I bought like power stop brakes for it, and they were supposed to be good, and I like warped the rotors really bad and smoked the pads. Tranny started slipping. The seats were really weird in it because the previous owner was even shorter than me, and he had like put an extra 2 inches of foam in the seats. So I had these like pufferfish seats that so it needed upholstery work, it needed brakes, it needed a transmission. The turbo was making noise, and I had hit a moose, and it needed paint work. So I was like, this thing's out of here.
If you were selling that thing today, I would have bought it from you.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Well,
definitely would have.
I offered it to you then, and you
I know,
didn't buy it.
I was not in the wasn't ready for that yet.
Yeah.
I was still trying to figure other stuff out. But yeah, so you got rid of that
Yeah, that thing was
to
out of
get
here.
a hold of.
So this is pretty cool. If you ever want to like sell your car, I sold both of those Dodges to CarMax, and I went to CarMax. I bought that Dodge truck for 18 grand. No, I bought it for 19 grand. I drove it for 3 years, and I hit a moose with it. And then I like went to CarMax and they gave me like $18,500 for it. Like,
Oh my God, sign this before I.
it was amazing. No, they were like, yeah, we'll take it. So like I legit the next day I threw my bike in the bed of the truck and I
remember that day.
I went to CarMax at lunch and I traded that sumbitch in and got my check for $18,500 and threw it in my pocket and I rode my bike back to work.
That's so grassroots. Like
Yeah, Dave, what are you, 16 years old?
Yes, forever.
God, we were all here. We could have picked you
ask
up.
for a ride.
Nope.
No, just got his BMX bike in the back and it's like, see you guys.
Yep. So yeah, I took.
And then he rode his bike to the Ford dealer.
Yep. No, I went straight over to the Ford dealer and I ordered the truck that I bought, which is a 2020. It's a crew cab dually, and it's got the 7.3 gasser.
Godzilla.
Yeah,
But it's got 10-speed in it, which is pretty rad.
yeah. That was like the thing I really wanted was the
I remember you asking
the
about
transmission. So yeah, that's been a pretty good truck. I don't really drive it that much. I kind of call it like my old man truck. I want to keep it nice for when I'm even older than I am now. But yeah, no, that thing's killer. I bought it. I went in there knowing that I wanted a gas truck with a 10-speed, and they had one on the lot that was like, it was a single wheel, long bed, white work truck, tan vinyl interior or whatever. And I was like, that thing's cool. But I had already bought a camper shell and I was like, or not a camper shell, but a slide-in camper. And I was like, the camper I got's huge. And I was like almost ready to sign on this truck. Like I was through the paperwork, like through most of it. And I was like ready to sign on this truck. I'm like, would you throw in some floor mats? And they're like, no, dude, we can't do that. I'm like, just give me some floor mats.
Wow.
And they're like, no, we can't give you any floor mats. And I was like, what's the payload on this truck?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, the payload on this, it was an F-250 long bed, single axle. And he was like, payload's 32. I'm like, I'm out. My camper's 4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy this truck and then have to modify it.
Yeah.
And he was like, whoa.
Those floor mats.
Yeah, those floor. Actually, we
just
got
got
really nice
pounded.
floor mats right over here.
Yeah. They fell off the truck.
Yeah.
They're right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, you know what, screw that. I don't want to like buy the truck you have on the lot because it's convenient. So I was like, let's see what do you have that will hold this camper without me adding airbags and sway bars and 25 other things to it.
Right.
And so we looked it up, and the dually had the payload that I wanted. And I was like, cool. And the dually, like basically what it was, do we need to get into money here?
Yeah, you can.
If you
want to,
want to,
yeah. Let me top off your bubbly and you guys financials.
So that truck that I was looking at, the white work truck, it was like 52 grand or something. And I was like, that's not bad for a brand new truck.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to spend 52 grand and not get what I want.
Well, especially when if what you want is only like 7 or 8 grand more at that point, because I mean you're still financing over half of it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even
I don't know
that.
what you do, yeah.
So I went through and we like built my truck on their little Ford calculator thing, and it was like the dually was only $1,000 more. And like in order to get to get the 10-speed and the Godzilla motor, I had to get the STX package rather than just the super base model one.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like I got this crew cab dually in like a color. It's silver, but it's like better than
Work
white.
truck white.
Yeah. So I got this thing. It's got like the alloy wheels. I got upfitter switches. I got the snowplow package, which gives you like a 1-inch lift in the front and dual alternators. Like I just got work truck stuff, like what I thought were cool upgrades.
Like good utilitarian shit.
Yeah. And it was 52 grand.
That's bitching.
Like for a brand new
truck.
truck.
That's a solid work truck. Like whether you're looking at a diesel truck or not, because the Godzilla puts out a fantastic amount of power for what it is.
Yeah. And maybe it was 53.
Still sub 60.
It was like 53 grand. And yeah, no, it was bitching. I wanted to get to a point where I like could buy a new truck and I would not finance more than 30 grand.
Mhm.
So between selling my Iron Pig, the Land Cruiser, and trading in and selling that Dodge, the Ram truck thing, I got like right there to where I like bought it and I financed 30 grand and it was like payments were reasonable. So yeah, it was good. I'm stoked on that truck. And it's like everybody's like, why wouldn't you spend the extra 8 grand on the 6.7 diesel? And it's like, well, because it's 8 grand and I didn't want to finance another $8,000. And for what I do, like I drive I think I've had it for 3 years now or 2 years and I've got 21,000 miles on it.
Jesus.
So it's like for what I use it for, like it would take forever to pay off that diesel, the extra cost of the diesel.
Well, and you're not necessarily like pulling heavy ass trailers all over the place where a diesel would really start to shine a little bit there. You're just you're just moving a heavy vehicle.
Yeah, I mean,
Or in his camper. I mean,
I got the camper.
Well, that's what I mean by heavy vehicle. You got a 1-ton truck with a big ass sliding camper in there.
Yeah, and like I've never been a horsepower dude, so it's like it gets around just fine. It still gets down the road better than most of my daily drivers.
Well, that and the fact that a good big push rod V8 and a 10-speed transmission.
Yeah.
With 2020 technology.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like that's as long as V8s are around, I really hope push rod V8s never go away. I hope that someone always has a big push rod V8 option available, because I'm so glad that Ford went back to that, because it's one of those things that's like why LSs are so popular. It's a push rod V8.
Yeah.
It's just a simple engine. It's a 5.9 Cummins of gas V8s.
Yeah.
What's pretty crazy is like I was at Easter Jeep Safari last year and I was at that Bronco training center they have out there, and we were picking up a Ford Bronco, and there was like 3 engineers from Ford and a friend of mine who like was kind of in charge of the Bronco program. And I pulled up in my truck to pick up the Bronco, and like I looked over and there's like a couple engineers that are like whispering to each other and stuff, and they walk up and they're like, how you liking the Godzilla truck? And I was like, I fucking love this thing. And they're like, we've been following along. We knew you bought it. You've got like the only crew cab dually. You've got like the only one that anybody's ever ordered.
So they're like,
a bell went off at Ford when Dave ordered it. They're like, oh my God, someone got one. Find his address.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like legit, there was like Ford engineers that came over and were like looking at it, and they're like, we all want one of these. These things are rad. They were like, there's so much like heavy duty diesel technology that's gone into this gas engine. They're like, this is a 1,000,000-mile truck.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was like, whew, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And then they were like checking out my rock sliders that I put on it, and they're like,
Those are dope. Yeah.
They're figuring out how they did that. I was like, did that void my warranty? And he's like, yep.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So no, I dig
cool,
that.
man.
I dig that truck. I should drive it more, but I don't, because it's like a giant. It's the size of like.
Well, it's not why you bought it. You bought it for a very specific purpose.
I almost bought a dually, because when I was buying my truck, because we bought trucks about the same time.
Yeah.
And at another dealership, they had a silver. No, it was a white. It was a white 3500 dually, but it was more. Like it had the vinyl floors.
Yeah.
It didn't have some of the options that my truck has.
Dude, if you need a truck, order what you want.
Yeah. Well,
like this.
I just wanted a heavy duty truck.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted a dually. But then I started thinking about like just daily driving a dually around.
Yeah. It's like, awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I have hit one curb.
I was gonna say I probably hit some shit.
I like it. I think it's rad. I've had like 3 or 4 or 5 dualies. I think they're awesome. Have you had one yet?
I've driven one for work, but I've never owned a dually.
Yeah.
The dually that I actually want was the one that you caught on fire. The first gen. I would love to have a first gen standard cab.
Yeah,
dually.
Mine was extra cab. That thing was really cool. Like it looked good. I really wish I would have like 4-wheel drive swapped that truck because it would have got like
See, I want a lower one.
way cooler.
I want to do like a rat rod diesel version. Oh, come on.
Come on.
You're going to be the one you're going to be the one I'm coming to be like, Dave, how do I lower this thing?
I'll help you out, but you lost me at rat rod.
Well, I just want a hot rod old diesel.
All right. Mine was pretty neat. It was like champagne gold, similar to my beer. And it was a farm truck, and it had like purple flame. It was just a pinstripe flame down down the side of it, and like in the extra cab window it said like B&C Ranch or something.
Oh, right.
It was like all hand painted, like bitchin' 90s style.
That's
like,
cool.
It was cool.
Hell yeah.
But-
So do you have a, keeping on the diesel theme here?
Okay. Oh, I was prepped on this. He's going to ask me if I like diesels and off-road vehicles. I know it. What do you feel about
Jesus
a rock
Christ.
crawler if a rock crawler had a diesel in it?
Dave's in my head.
So why don't you go ahead and answer your own question?
So
Dave?
just
That's actually a really good question,
when
Dave.
we
Go
talked
ahead and
about
answer.
Dave coming on the podcast, he's like, "What are we going to talk about?" I was like, "Honestly, it's pretty much just fucking whatever you want." Like,
Yeah.
and well, should we talk about something diesel truck related? It's like, sure.
Oh, okay. I got an actual question.
Well, that
that's
was
not-
literally
that
my
was-
question.
that
Like,
was your-
I'm not
oh,
kidding.
okay,
Like, he
okay.
was,
Let's hear yours because we'll get to that.
No,
that one.
okay. So I know a lot of guys in the off-road industry will take like the Volkswagen TDI motors
Mhm.
and put them in Jeeps. Like, what's your feeling on those engines? Are they underpowered? Is it stupid? Is it a good idea to do?
I do like that engine. They aren't underpowered at all. Like not for a Jeep. I have a friend who's got a Jeep TJ that's got one of those TDIs in it, and that thing works really well.
Mhm.
I've got a friend up in Canada that has a stretched Suzuki Samurai that has that engine, and it works really well. Those engines rev quick. They make power quick. They're not boat anchors.
Yeah.
And they work pretty well, similar to like the Cummins R28. That thing revs pretty quick and makes power. Ben's question. Ben, what's your question?
well, so Dave is a interesting conglomerate of stuff. He likes trucks, likes cars, likes
I like it
off-roading, likes it all. But he's also spent a lot of time off-roading, doing ultimate adventure stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been around lots of different styles of vehicle, and it always seems that everybody's always, those that have actually done a decent amount of off-roading, they're like, yeah, stop diesel swapping shit. Like, no one cares if you have a 500 horsepower 12 valve in your off-road truck. You're better off, like, literally have like the 1.9 or
Yeah.
just put a freaking 4.8 LS in there.
Yeah.
Just stop breaking shit and learn how to drive. And so maybe I just answered the
No,
question.
I have specifics
Okay,
for
yeah.
your question. Ask the question.
Are diesels good for off-roading?
Big diesels are not. Everybody wants to put a 4BT. Everybody's like 4BT. Everything needs a 4BT.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the go-to for like what all these guys that think a Jeep needs. And I'm like, dude, the 4BT is a boat anchor. It doesn't do what you want it to do when you want it to do it.
Mhm.
The anything bigger than a 4BT, like a 6BT or a 12 valve or any of that, that's just way too heavy.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you will make some power and you'll make some torque, but you don't need torque. You need you need to be able to rev quick when you need those RPMs, and like you can make up for the torque with your gearing. It's not 1975 anymore. You can get gearing for most vehicles.
Mhm.
And perfect example, general manager around here, Cooper Rasmussen.
Yes.
He used to have a 4-door JK that had a bruiser conversion 4BT in it, right?
Yep.
The first time I ever met Cooper, we were wheeling on Ultimate Adventure, and I just remember seeing him go. I think this was 2013 or something. He took that rig. He went to go like launch up some like rock slab that had a bunch of moss and water and stuff on it. And he like drove that thing up and started getting partway up the hill and went to like romp on it for it to like start burning the tires off and make power. Well, he had romped on it. It rolled back. It hit the bottom like crux of the ground to the slab.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately broke the ring and pinion because that sumbitch spooled up right at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Did he have a mohawk and white sunglasses on?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
That was
That's Pete
those
Cooper.
years.
That was Pete Cooper.
Yeah, that was barbed wire attack Cooper. That was,
So
that was when Cooper wore Coopers.
Yeah.
Yeah. that was like one of my first experiences with a 4BT and a rock crawler was watching Cooper make power right at the wrong time. And I was just like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, and then he like fixed it, and then I think he broke another ring and pinion because the next time he like made power right after he needed it.
I wonder how many ring and pinions that guy's fucking broken.
There's 3 of them on his desk.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
So,
I'm thinking of howitzer. I'm like, man, these are that all the other ones. Man.
no, howitzer was like 1 a week. It was ridiculous. So I don't know. I'm not the other thing, like howitzer's a cool truck. It's a standard cab Ram 3500, 2500 conglomeration, and it was like a cool truck that worked well, but the front of that thing was so heavy, it was ridiculous to try and make a rock crawler out of it.
Yeah. It needed to basically a clean slate, Super 60, something.
No, it needed a 5.7 Hemi or a 6.2.
Yeah.
Like ditch 1,000 pounds off the front axle, and the front axle won't keep breaking.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my thoughts on diesel stuff. I do like the little ones. Like I like the R28. I like the TDI. I like the idea of those little Nissan diesels that they were putting in like CJ10s and a few other like Isuzu pickups and stuff like that. But I've really never seen those ones make like good power and stuff right when they need them.
Yeah.
I'm way more of a fan of really low gears and like a quick revving engine.
Yeah.
So I like little 4 cylinders. I'm not sure that I like turbos on rock crawlers because it seems like turbos always make power right after you needed it too.
Yeah.
Even on like little 4 cylinders, it seems like if you can get I want to build my Jeep with a 4.8 in it and see if the 4.8 LS based engine's where it's at, because I feel like that thing will like make just enough power. It'll rev quick and like hopefully not weigh so much that I'm just taxing the whole front axle.
Yeah,
Well,
I think that's a perfect option. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, those engines you can pick up for so cheap.
Yeah.
And everybody looks for the 5.3.
Yeah.
Like,
5.3, 6.0, or 6.2s. Everybody
yeah.
sees a 4, like, fuck that thing.
Yeah.
All I see when I see a 6.0 is like 6 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Like they're so bad.
Yeah.
Well, and you get a nice RPM range with a 4.8.
Yeah.
And, even with a really, really, really mild cam in there,
Mhm.
that will be a very nice, touchy. I think it would have that nice, the power profile would be very nice.
Yeah. And I mean, my theory is not perfect. Like there's definitely guys out there that have like perfected better platforms, but I really like the idea of a lightweight engine that revs quick and make up for that torque in the gearing.
Yeah.
Like the two rock crawlers that I have right now both have like a pretty low first gear and really low transfer cases or dual transfer cases. So like you don't need torque. Like that thing that you could put a Predator, a 5 horsepower Predator in front of it and it would climb a wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you need is like a little bit of power, like right when you need it.
That, and it's also like compromise. Like, do you want to spend 30 to 40% of your time tinkering with the engine of the thing that you just did a whole bunch of custom or spent a lot of money on suspension work, which is where most of your time and energy is going to go anyways? Because let's face it, most off-roaders, what's going to take the beating? Axles, drivetrain, suspension, all that kind of stuff. Or would you rather have a 4.8 that you can literally go to any part store, anything, anywhere, for anything, at any time? And they're going to have a part, and it all fits. Everything's custom.
I have never owned a LS swapped anything, so I'm curious to see like how good is it. I have like fear of like putting this LS in my Jeep, and then all of a sudden I've got some like aftermarket throttle pedal and cable, and the cable breaks. Like, I want to make sure if I do a swap, like, I keep it as basic as possible. Like, I want to keep the accessory drive package like stock, like whatever it came with in that truck. I don't want to have some like custom alternator and like have to have moved my power steering pump from top right to bottom left. And like, it seems like those are where your problems come from in a swap, is like when you have to change everything about the swap to make it fit your vehicle. I'm really hoping that I can like get a 4.8, figure out whichever like package, like accessory package fits the vehicle I have, like try and track down a stock throttle pedal, a stock cable, like all that stuff. Because I want to be able to like mash on that thing and not have the dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now, they make all those brackets. Yeah. As far as where you want your shit.
It's so dumb.
It's incredibly easy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have this fear of like that bracket, like, is, you know, some bracket made overseas that may not fit as well as a stock one, and you got to like hog this hole out and cram a bolt in it that doesn't work right, and all of a sudden you're like, you know, up near the Canadian border and your power steering pump falls off because like you got this thing
for sure
that's not designed right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You'd rather take a stock GM throttle pedal assembly and make it work on the Jeep.
Oh yeah. 100%. So that's the only fear I have with like those big like engine swaps and stuff, is just lose. Like, it's cool, you gain a little bit of horsepower, but like if you lose the reliability, then it's not worth the what is it? The squeeze isn't, the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
That's a hot.
Or as they say, the ROI is not there.
Oh gosh. It's so 2022.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship, synergy, return, investments, real estate. We are going to start wrapping this one up. Dave, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to join us on this terribly organized podcast.
It was not terribly organized. It's far nicer. I might come in here and start having lunch in here now.
You should.
It's a nice place.
There you go.
I sort of apologize for the awkwardness at the beginning, but that's the best way to lead to the good stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I feel like just getting some really dumb shit out of the way ahead of time, because then it's all uphill from there. Yeah. It's all beautiful. It's all roses after that.
I came prepared. I had the hard hitters right away.
Yeah.
Dave, what the fuck happened to MotorTrend, bro?
Here's the real deal. If you have questions for Dave, the best place to leave them, especially if you wanted to answer them on the podcast, is going to be on the Facebook group. You can also throw them on the comments on YouTube as well. But probably the best place to start that discussion, especially because once Dave properly answers the questions.
No.
So Dave will not be in the Facebook group.
No, the place to go is DirtHead Shed.
No, if you guys want to leave a question on the Facebook page, that's awesome. I will go into Ben's office and I'll probably answer him there, but I don't know that I'm ever going to get accepted.
Or if you just want to check out Dave's page, check out the DirtHead Shed. Make sure you subscribe, like, and watch his videos. He's got some really awesome videos out there, whether it be lowrider stuff or off-road stuff. Dave's got it all. He's got the know-how, and he builds cool shit.
Thank you. It is getting good. I'm really digging it. I'm going to go home and work on my mini truck, and I got to get that thing done so I can work on my Merc.
I know. I'm excited to see what you did with the bed, because you left us with a cliffhanger on the wheels being too wide for the bed.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's going to be such a mess.
I need to know.
Wait, is that on the
hard body?
The hard body.
Yeah, it's a D21.
Yeah,
it's a hard body.
We need to get Dave a shirt that he wears in that truck that is just like the outline of like a bodybuilder dude.
Yeah.
It's like Dave's hard body.
Dave's hard body.
I could probably go back to the indoor ghetto swap meet and get my abs airbrushed on.
Yeah, you need to. You need to.
Okay. Lastly, if you don't follow Dave, you need to. Dave, what's your socials?
On Instagram, it's dirthead_Dave. On Facebook, I have a Facebook page called The DirtHead Shed, and on YouTube, it's called The DirtHead Shed. So those are the three. I don't TikTok. I tried it once, and it didn't hit. So I want to like figure that one out, but now it seems like that's not the right place to be. So
Stick with the old Instagrams and the
Yep.
YouTubes and the
Uh,
Facebooks.
Eventually, I'll figure out where the kids and like the cool people are going. But for now, I'm on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
Bingo.
Boom.
Well,
Check it
everybody, again, Dave, really appreciate you having on. We will definitely have you on again, especially if we get some good questions.
All right. Or good answers out of me.
I think I might like the champagne beers.
It's the
Yeah.
best.
It's not
It
bad.
makes big bubbles.
It does have a lot of bubbles.
Big bubbles.
Don't buy the cans. Bottles are where it.
Yeah, bottles were there's your tip of the day, kids. If you're looking for Miller High Life, the champagne beers, get those dang bottles.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good looking bottle. It's a good tasting beer at a bargain bin price.
Yeah.
High Life, the champagne beers.
Pretty amazing.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll
Thanks,
see you
guys.
next week.
Bye.
Peace out.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at dieselpowerproducts.com.